Today I'm going to demonstrate the wxEqualizer program. It's a program that was written with wxWidgets, and to test the libraries of wxWidgets to see how well you could make things look, and to try out the audio filtering routines. And so we'll start the program up, and here in the window you can see it lists all the devices, input and output devices that are available. And in the program, you can select which output device you want to use and which sample rate you want to run at. And so if you want to run at a very high sample rate in a program, you go to the high sample rate. And normally what you do is you either open a file or open a file that you've recently opened. Every time you open a file, it's added to the recently opened list. And so there's the playback of an AIFF file. You can play back AIFF files or WAV files or anything that the SDN file program can read. This can play them back. And the other thing that it has in it is it has a looping feature. And so you go playback option loop files, it'll then loop on the files in the recently saved list. And so I can go here and say play and drag it out to the end of the file, out towards the end of the file. And when it hits the end of the file, it'll skip to the next file. And so there's the testing file that I had, and you can drag it up towards the end of that file, and then when it hits the end of that file, it'll play the next file. And so let's go back here to this file and turn off the loop. And this is kind of interesting because if you vary these gains up and down just a little bit, it can make a tremendous difference in how it sounds. So we'll take a look here and see if we can find something. You never know which ones are really going to have the effect. And there you can hear how it greatly crisped up the sound. Of course, you're only picking it up secondary off the microphone, so I'm not sure how well you can hear it. But it's a simple program. But if you wanted to make it look good, you'd have to create a bunch of custom widgets here, and then it would look good. And I tested all the filters. All the filters are spot on, and they knock out every sound that's not within the filter range. And it works pretty well. It's kind of interesting to play around with it, but most of the programs have options where you can pick up various settings for various different types of music, and it does make a big difference. You tweak those things just a little bit on the sound, and it can dramatically improve the sound. And so that's the basic operation of wxWidgets equals.